Hello, I'm here to tell you about Dakhari's protocol, some changes that I've seen in my son. My son is 8 years old. Um, we've been on a protocol approximately 2 months, and I've seen a lot of changes. And I honestly thought that it was me being too excited to see what changes that to see any progress that I was supposed to be seeing. But the most significant changes was really within the last 3 weeks when I constantly told my husband how my son was initiating more statements. So instead of asking me the same one question 1,000 times, he would come out and say something. So, for example, he was always curious about the dark clouds in the sky. He will always ask me why was the clouds dark. Oh no, it's gonna rain and all this other stuff. He then came out and just said for the first time, like I said about 3 weeks ago, "Hey mom, the sky is dark because it's gonna rain." And I've also noticed that we're able to stay on the conversation a little bit longer. I used to ask him what he wanted for lunch. He would tell me how he didn't like roller coasters. So now he can tell me what he wants for lunch and what he don't want for lunch. And he's just all around making all kind of progress. Mainly, I've noticed it more with his concentration in conversations. He's always been a very mild mannered child. Really no hyperactivity, but it's just coming from his sensory. He also goes to a sensory integration clinic, and that therapist that evaluated him 3 to 4 weeks prior was saying that he's become more brave. So he would climb up. Well, initially, how do I explain this? Ugh. He didn't like to sit on something that moved like a swing or something in therapy. Now, well, when she reevaluated him last week, he climbed on this really tall thing. It was equivalent size of a second level bunk bed set, and she had her head turned and he jumped off of it, which freaked her out to the point where she was like, I don't know if I should have told you this or not, but weeks ago he would have never done anything like that. I used to could not get him to eat fruits and vegetables. He had now asked for to try something. Even though he'd eat just a small bit of it, he'd come out and ask for it. Initially giving him that Divine Child drink was very difficult until I explained to him the benefits of it, and he would then ask for or remind me that he didn't take it. He would call it Minecraft juice. He didn't take his Minecraft juice, and he asked me to go home and get it. The milk kefir was not a problem to give at all, but I've noticed overall progress. And I do admit that if I was inconsistent, I was then seeing regression. So the questions were still coming up over and over again. He couldn't recall the answer. It's just mainly, I've noticed the biggest thing was the conversation and actually his understanding. So he's been working with a school teacher. He's involved in so much. He sees a speech therapist 1 hour a week. He sees a special education teacher 1 hour a week, and then I'm an occupational therapist. I work with his fine motor coordination and gross motor coordination at home. He wrestles with his cousins, and another big thing, his interaction is better with the other kids. He's more willing to separate himself from more familiar people. So overall, I'm seeing constant progress, but I know I have to stick to the program more because I do see it where if I've gone 3 days, I can really see slow regression, mainly with the questioning.
So overall, you're happy with the drink. Would you recommend the drink to others? Or
Yes.
the protocol? Would you recommend the protocol to others?
I definitely would, and I do appreciate the support that I'm getting from Carmen and Walter. I call them any hour of the night and get whatever support that I need. I'm excited to see what more progress that I expect to see. I would love to see 100% change.
But you realize that's going to take time.
I understand it's going to take time, but of course you get excited because this has been a really long struggle. My son is only 8, and I wish I could have seen
Started
this
early.
program. Oh my gosh, you have no idea. I also have a 2-year-old, and he interacts very good. He helps her change her diaper. He'd get up and help her more, where usually he didn't like to sit next to her. She'd crawl on him, and he's learning how to interact with her a little bit more, hold her hand, and he'd sit down with her. I got pictures on my phone on him. But he's doing better, more and more every day.
And in 2 months.
In just 2 months. And like I said, I mean, I've been a little inconsistent because of my busy schedule. But when I've gone about 3 days, I can slowly see the regression where, like I said, my biggest change with him was conversation that I've noticed. But the sensory integration therapist was just saying that his understanding is better, his concentration. So I was getting compliments from the speech therapist, the sensory integration therapist, and then the special education teacher. She's pretty new, but she was just saying that of the other children that she's met, he's just very mild and catches on really super fast.
Okay, we'll check back with you in a few months.
Thank you.